Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon and good evening to you all. Welcome back to Gospel News, where we dey give on now bonge updated information on as it take the go. In case una never follow us on our social media handles, what are you waiting for? We dey for Instagram, Twitter and on Facebook, and we dey bring on a back-to-back update. Let's go straight to the reason why we are here today. And we are hearing kefu and important information here, as you can see on the screen, that the IPOB leadership, that is the DOS leadership, is in talks with the United Nations for Biafra referendum. This update don't shock us, so a lot of us now don't dey in serious shock over this information we would hear so from Arise TV. They said they have been telling them about the referendum, the needed referendum when they need to conduct in Nigeria, so that indigenous people who are stuck in Nigeria can decide their fate and also exit from a contraption that has been killing lives and properties for over how many years now when Nigeria don't get independence. IPOB are in talks with United Nations on Biafra referendum. They say that Neymar powerful when they do US, we will know they see for screen also. We don't know the kind of contact that he's making with the United Nations. According to what we have here, they said IPOB is in talk with United Nations to conduct referendum for the people of Biafra to determine their continued existence in Nigeria. This statement was made known by Emma Powerful, and Arise News TV spoke about it. So please let us know whether you believe what Emma Powerful is telling us here, that he's currently in talks with the United Nations for this particular referendum. And I'm still wondering whether this is all possible. This is possible. Is that possible for United Nations to peacefully conduct referendum in a country like Nigeria, where corruption has taken a very big toll? I'm not sure that is going to be a hearsay, because all the while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was here going to the UN, except he didn't go and told us that he went, because we are sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he don't work out tire. See pass when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said they wear, he don't peel, he don't even slack. I said, what's the problem? They say they work up and down. They go UN, they go EU, they go to America, they go everywhere for this same referendum. May they come conduct referendum, but all to no avail. Nobody listened to him. We never heard that the UN have given any update concerning the Biafran people and the referendum. Even the suit they instituted at the Supreme Court in Abuja for freedom or referendum for Biafra people, we are no longer hearing anything about it. This thing was going on when the UGM, yes, unknown government, we are very, very active, and there was so much tension in the land. As soon as the tension dozed down, they said, this country can still remain one, no, nothing they happen, no, that's what I see there. But that time, when this court was going on, it was on a very serious note, and Nigeria was at the verge of collapse as at that time. But now, nobody is talking about the referendum. Again, the coalition of northern groups that instituted the suit at that time are nowhere to be found. And we have never heard anything concerning that suit again. Please let us know what you think about this information. Let me quickly play you a video when Arise TV News was talking about and discussing this issue of referendum. If I say, I know this video, Shana, oh, there be new one. Let's watch it together anyways, guys. So don't forget to share this video, like and subscribe. God bless you.
Special autonomy within Indonesia, or have their own independence. And of course, they rejected special autonomy within Indonesia. In 2002, East Timor became independent on its own. And then you have the example of Kosovo and all of that. But whatever happens, there is no way that the United Nations can do a referendum inside Nigeria over and above the head of an existing sovereign. That is the Nigerian government itself.
Okay.
Now, would there be a referendum in Biafra? And how will it pan out? I know that there are many agitators from the eastern part of the country who say Nigeria has been unjust to Igbos in the Nigerian Federation, that Igbos have been marginalized, because at the basis of questions of self-determination, it's always about citizenship, it's always about justice, it's always about equity. Would they be able to get enough votes? Well, my gut feeling is that, look, most Igbos will probably not want to leave Nigeria.
Oga, I beg, I foresee shut up. I would have just said shut your mouth there. This is Ruben Abati. Are you in the mind of the Igbos? If you feel like Igbos will not want to leave Nigeria, then conduct referendum. Don't just come here and speak for people. You can't be speaking for us. This is an insult to Igbos. Please, shut up. Please. This is a very big insult to Igbos. You are there telling me Igbos, with majority of Igbos will not want to leave Nigeria. Where would they want to stay? Try, go in here self. Just try roadside referendum. Just go to one street, only one, anywhere you feel that Igbo people are. Just conduct referendum there, whether they want to leave Nigeria or not. If you hear buru eyeglass baranchara, we now call that Igbos will not want to leave Nigeria. They want to stay in your papa house. And I query old men that behave as if they don't have common sense. You are here to analyze rubbish. I beg, may we finish up with this, ma'am, so that I go hear the Okpatawen in here. But the thing is quite embarrassing. How can you say you're not even sure that we get enough votes? Conduct the referendum first so that people can decide. Let us know what is going on. And you're here. Can you speak for Igbos? Ruben Abati. He's not even an Igbo man. I would have said, oh, he maybe he's a misguided Igbo man. No, nothing concern him concern Igbo. And you are here spilling rubbish on national TV. You hear the smell. Wanna watch the video?
Igbos will probably not want to leave Nigeria. I may be wrong.
I'm
speaking for myself. I'd rather
better speak for Nigeria your family.
As it is, as a diverse nation, as this rainbow nation.
Imagine the rubbish. So you like the diverse nature as their Fulanis are killing because they never kill you or kill your family. You like what the Fulanis are going from one community to another to exterminate people, to strangulate people, to kill them in their farms. The reason why you are talking this rubbish on national TV is because your family or you have not been engaged by terrorists or you have been kidnapped. You spend 2 years, or maybe one of your daughters are one of those Chibok girls. When they will come back looking tattered, converted, and carrying 2 babies, Fulani babies. Then you will get sense by force. The mad hana kuiri kandine uche.
Multicultural. And I mean,
cultural. A cultural country that has killed the economy, killed the whole existence of humanity in it. We are now poor people. We are now poor people. It is here. That is what Abbott is telling us. Have you noticed this video I played that time? I think we have a longer one here, please.
The indigenous people of Biafra on Tuesday claimed to be in talks with the United Nations to hold a referendum for a sovereign state of Biafra. In a statement by the group's media and publicity secretary, Ima Powerful, the group is making efforts for the referendum any moment soon, adding that residents within the Biafra territory and those living beyond the boundaries of Biafra will be able to determine their own fate. The group expects the United Nations to supervise the referendum and are calling for freedom for all and not just for Biafrans alone. I mean, this is another, what do you call it, Brexit?
Yes.
How is it possible to have a sovereign state without any form of, partition? I mean, I would like to know, how does that work?
It's possible. Okay. You can have, these are called, there are different types of referendums. This ones are called independence referendums. And an independence referendum does not actually need the consent of the national government. What tends to happen is if there's some kind of separatist movement, and that separatist movement get support maybe at an election, they can now use that momentum to demand a referendum, not even of the national, or in our case, the federal government, just of their own people.
Okay.
They put a question on the ballot and people answer the question and they vote. And the United Nations will not call a referendum. Every country has their sovereignty. The United Nations will supervise, they'll observe if they're told to, they'll monitor a referendum if they're asked to. The United Nations is also relevant if the referendum succeeds and maybe the national government doesn't want to apply, the results of the referendum. The United Nations can come in and recognize that country as an independent country to give that referendum credence. So, yeah.
So then what happens to the people that are not in support of the sovereign state of Biafra, that are in that territory as well? What happens?
I'm speaking hypothetically.
Yes.
The referendum might not even happen because, like I said, it usually happens on the back of a popular movement. There has to be some momentum. You can't just wake up and have a referendum. Like if there's an election, for example, and let's say, I don't know, a particular political party, a separatist party, wins all the states, then from there you can now use that momentum to call for a referendum. Right now that has not happened.
Yes.
So if at all the referendum does happen, if people vote no, then vote to be counted, then it's no, and they stay in Nigeria. But if there's an overwhelming yes or a majority yes, then they leave. If at all the federal government allows it, and the United Nations and the international community rally around the new states.
Well, they have claimed that it's going to be a peaceful process. I don't know how that's going to be, but I think that we can come back to continue on this discussion.
Let's take a short break. When we return, I will give you my views on the issue of the referendum. Well, before we went on break, we were talking about the request of the IPOB, Indigenous Peoples of Biafra, through Emma Powerful, the secretary, asking for a referendum to be organized by the United Nations. Now, the subject we're dealing with, basically, is self-determination. Self-determination, is an internationally recognized right by various UN conventions. Whether you are talking about Kosovo, or you are talking about East Timor, or you are talking about Cameroon. And it is indeed true that the United Nations can supervise referendums. The right of a people to determine their own future, to determine their own sovereignty. Now, two examples. In February 1961, the UN supervised the referendum to determine whether Northern Cameroon or Southern Cameroon would join Nigeria or join Cameroon. And that referendum was conducted. At the end of the day, when the votes were tallied, people can vote yes or no. At the end of it, Northern Cameroon joined Nigeria. Southern Cameroon, led by Ndeli and Co., joined Cameroon, the French-speaking Cameroon. Now, this was the decision over the British-occupied part of Cameroon at the time. In 1999, it was East Timor, and it was the president of Indonesia at the time who approached the United Nations to allow the people of East Timor to decide whether they would like to have special autonomy within Indonesia or have their own independence. And of course, they rejected special autonomy within Indonesia. In 2002, East Timor became independent on its own. And then you have the example of Kosovo and all of that. But whatever happens, there is no way that the United Nations can do a referendum inside Nigeria over and above the head of an existing sovereign. That is the Nigerian government itself. Now, would there be a referendum in Biafra? And how will it pan out? I know that there are many agitators from the eastern part of the country who say Nigeria has been unjust to Igbos in the Nigerian Federation, that Igbos have been marginalized, because at the basis of questions of self-determination, it's always about citizenship, it's always about justice, it's always about equity. Would they be able to get enough votes? Well, my gut feeling is that, look, most Igbos will probably not want to leave Nigeria. I may be wrong. And speaking for myself, I'd rather have Nigeria as it is, as a diverse nation, as this rainbow nation, multicultural. I mean, a Nigeria without Igbos would not be the same Nigeria.
All right.
And I hope that even if it is put to vote, that more Igbos would rather stay in Nigeria, because Igbos are already,
which more Igbos?
Completely enmeshed in the Nigerian Federation. They are part of the fabric of this country. And I think that the ordinary Igbo man does not share the same sentiments with Emma Powerful.
Well, you never know. You never.
On the here, Ruben Abati, they judge for Igbos, they speak for Igbos. I beg, Muna drop comment below because I go tell her, make on watch this video, make a hear how many votes when this video go get. If you know, say you watch this video, drop comment and like it so that you go here say, una don't watch him. I go send and give am later so that you go see so una don't watch him and una drop vote through the comment section. Nonga na query. Igbos would rather stay in Nigeria. Which failed Nigeria? Igbos would rather stay. God bless Mazin Namdekano. I bet we'll go another news.